All right, welcome back into another episode of Jake's Takes. I am your host, Jake Masucci, and today I am super excited for this episode. I'm pumped. I got my guy back on, Giovanni Moceri. Giovanni, how you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. I'm in such a good mood. We finally got football coming up soon here. Getting back to school, get back into the radio biz here at WXOU. I'm hyped. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, I mean, football this weekend was awesome. I did a ton of college football content. I was out Monday, Tuesday, and this one for NFL's coming out later. I mean, I love having football back, but we do start school tomorrow, so that's not going to be great, and I'm not looking forward to that part. But having football back is awesome. That's the best part of it. I think.
It's a spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down.
100%. I love that. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to switch over to some NFL football because this is the first week of NFL, and we're kind of going to go through the slate and talk about really where we think every team will be going. We'll just talk about each game, who we think will win, and you guys are going to get Giovanni's thoughts on what he thinks. We did a full NFL preview. If you guys didn't check that out, check that out. That was with Aaron Smith. That was about 2 weeks ago now, which seems like it was not 2 weeks ago, but whatever.
Seems longer.
Whatever. So let's start with the first game, and that is the Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. What a game we got here. So talk to me a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this one we went through after the draft, me on my show, the Joe Mo Show. We went through the entire Lions season, game by game. And this game I've gone back and forth with all summer long, ever since recording it in May. I've been getting cold feet, and then I've been getting super hyped. And then I go back and forth. CJ Gardner-Johnson gets injured in the beginning of camp, and now I think we're going to stink. I've been going back and forth all season. But on the show, to keep consistent, on the show I picked the Lions to win. I'm going to continue to pick the Lions to win, especially because of the Chris Jones situation.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, looking at it, this is a very tough matchup because with the Lions, it's going to answer a lot of questions. We've been hearing these great things about the rookies. We've been hearing great things about Jack Campbell. Apparently, he's been playing unbelievable. Yeah. We got CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's been healthy and not healthy. He's going to help that corner room. But the thing is, it's like, the Lions corners haven't been looking that great during the preseason. Yeah, it's been a struggle in that secondary, and I feel like I need to see like a little more. And you're going against the best quarterback in football.
I know
Patrick Mahomes.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And in general, because we've been hearing so many good things about the rookies, like it sounds like we have about 4 rookie starters on the Lions. Most of them on defense.
Yep.
Or like a lot of the young guys being on defense. But I'm very concerned and nervous about how a new defense with all like the free agency and the rookies, all that, how is that going to look right out of the box?
Yes.
Because they haven't had to work together in this kind of intense situation. Because, I mean, not only with rookies, but with just new free agents. So I'm nervous and I'm not as confident in the defense in week 1. They're definitely going to get better and they're definitely going to be better than how last season was, but it's against the best offense and the best like head coach, quarterback. Like it's going to be such a tough test.
I think we're both very high on the Lions, but the thing is like this is the best team of football that you're playing.
Like it's real.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. Like this is just the toughest matchup you could ask for playing the best quarterback in football. And with the defense, I like what you're saying about the Chris Jones situation. We don't know what's going to happen with that. He wants more money. He's probably the best defensive player in football right now.
He deserves the money.
Exactly. He deserves it. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing there, but like looking at that Chiefs defense still, losing Chris Jones is a huge loss. But I talked about it a lot last year. This defense was really young last year.
Yeah.
And they're only going to get better going into this year. They were an average defense last year. Yeah. I'm thinking they're moving up to like a top 10 defense, and that's why part of me was like, okay, the Chiefs are probably going to be near the 1 seed again this year. And it's just like, the truth. Like, you can't say that. But I think it's more because the defense takes a step up than the offense taking a step up. Because if you look at Mahomes, he's got nobody to throw to other than Kelsey.
You keep looking around. It's like, okay, Kadarius Toney, he's kind of hurt. You got Marquez Valdes-Scantling. It's like, okay, but like it's all iffy.
Exactly.
With the receivers. Scott Moore from Western Michigan, who I always have to give a
shout
out because my brother bothers me about it. He was a Bronco too.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting, but I'm going to have to say the Chiefs are going to win. I mean, I can't be a homer. You
can't be wrong.
I can't be a homer for this one. I think the line's 6.5. So if I had to like be a betting man, I would bet the Lions because I think they're going to keep it close, especially if a Chris Jones isn't around. Like they're definitely going to keep it close, and it'll be a shootout. But I think the Chiefs are going to end up winning this one in a tight one.
And it's a coin flip, but I have to do the homer pick. Like I think I've been talking about why I shouldn't pick the Lions because I just think it might be enough of a defensive improvement to stop on one drive, maybe 2 drives. And the offense, I think, is built enough to keep up with the Chiefs. So I think it being very close, I think there's just enough for the Lions to win on opening night.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this can be. I'm so excited for that game.
Me too,
it's gonna be unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm so pumped. So now we gotta go to Sunday slate, and the first one on my list, I got Panthers and Falcons. Okay. This is going to be 1:00 on the Fox networks. I mean, we'll figure out which one. They do like the Fox networks and the CBS networks, and they give you the best games out of that normally. Sometimes they give you a weird game, but that's okay. So Carolina, Atlanta, division matchup. It's going to be interesting. What are you looking at this one?
I got the Falcons. I think they're a lot more of an established team. They have their head coach has been there. Arthur Smith has been there for a couple of years now. It's not Desmond Ridder is not a rookie.
Yep.
He's going into his second year. The team in general is a lot more established, and I believe in that run game. Weren't they top 3 in rushing last year, the Falcons?
Yep.
And adding Bijan Robinson to that, it's against a rookie quarterback, against a rebuilding team like Carolina. You're going to have to me, Atlanta's just a better team.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking me into it a little bit. On the NFL preview, I was really high on the Panthers. I just was. I don't know why, but I love some of the stuff they brought in, and I think Bryce Young is the real deal. I really do. But it's his first game.
Right. I mean, for a rookie, I need to see it first, and like I'm more than willing to believe in a rookie, but I gotta see it first. And even with Bijan Robinson, a little bit hesitant on that purely because of the rookie thing.
Yeah.
If he destroys the Panthers, and okay, then he is the real deal.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bryce Young. So I got to see it first, but until then, I got to go with the consistency.
And that's fair. I think I'm going to go Atlanta too, and that's just because first game, a lot of new faces for Carolina, and in the NFL, new isn't exactly the best thing in the world. It's just the truth. It takes a little bit for them to get used to it, and Atlanta's bringing a lot back where they feel normal. They feel like it's okay. We were competing for a playoff spot last year. We're bringing a lot back. We're bringing in a better running back probably I think they had the 3rd best running attack last year. And you add a talent like Bijan Robinson. Like it's going to be impressive to watch. I think Drake London can take a step up this year too, and Kyle Pitts hopefully. I think every fantasy owner is probably like we need him to take a step up.
I politely avoided him.
Yeah, I did too. But I think Atlanta is going to sneak it out too. All right, let's move on. Cincinnati and Cleveland. I think this is a very interesting game.
This one was tough to pick.
Yeah. All right, what do you got?
So from a historical perspective, the Bengals under Joe Burrow have had their troubles against Cleveland. I'm going to pick history with this one, especially with, and of course, Burrow's injury. Could it be as bad as everyone's thinking it is? No, it could be fine, but you got history, you got a little bit of an injury. In a tight matchup, you got to split hairs. I'm picking Cleveland, and I think Brownie the Elf is going to get christened with a win in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I like that pick. The more and more I'm hearing about the Browns, the more and more like I should have been higher on them because I kind of was super low. Me and Aaron just didn't really think the Browns could like take a step up because we saw this team last year and it was like when Deshaun played, he looked horrible.
Ooh, yeah.
He just did not look good.
A lot of people are happy about that.
But
too.
the more, yeah, that's true. That's true. But the more and more you look at this Cleveland team, it's like Deshaun's the only question mark because they have an unbelievable defense and they have great receiving weapons with Amari Cooper. A lot of people like the Elijah Moore who's going to be really good. Nick Chubb now takes control of that backfield with one of the best O-lines in football. So Nick Chubb could have a monster year. And I'm looking at this game and it's like there's questions on the Cincinnati end. Joe Burrow, we're not sure if he's going to be healthy. Cincinnati's bringing back a lot. They got a solid defense, but I think this is a must-win for Cleveland because it's a division matchup and you're home. So I agree with you. I think Cleveland's going to sneak out of this one. It's going to be tight though. I could see a very tight game in this one.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson, kind of a similar thing that we were talking about with the rookies, but because at this point, Deshaun Watson is just an old rookie.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen anything like his college days in in Houston. Haven't quite seen that yet. Again, I'm gonna have to see it from Deshaun Watson before I can believe in him. But the rest of the team, the rest of the team's fine.
yes, 100%. That moves us into Jacksonville and Indianapolis, and we can kind of go through this one fast because
this one's a gut feeling.
I kind of think Jacksonville's just gonna run away with this one.
They're the better team in a. I would say. You have a rebuilding team like Indianapolis. They're underground right now. They're not even at sea level.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson's first game, I could see him throwing 4 interceptions. I could see it really being rough. And Jacksonville, they're out to make a statement this year. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna smoke Indy. I really do.
I mean, they have to.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a gimme.
All right, so that moves into Minnesota, Tampa Bay. And this one you could kind of see as interesting. For me, not really. I think Minnesota's going to run away with this one.
I wouldn't say run away with
it.
I'm picking Minnesota as well, but I see it a little bit more even. So Minnesota's defense, I don't see it as improved from last year.
Yep.
They already had their struggles last year with their defense. Tampa Bay kind of stinks.
Yep.
But there are some pieces that could get you close. So I think it's going to be a lot more of a competitive game. But when you compare, let's say both defenses aren't the best, but when you compare the offenses of both, you got Minnesota, you got the best receiver, you got Addison added into the offense.
Yep.
So Minnesota's offense is I would say that much better than Tampa Bay's. So
I mean, I think with Minnesota, I'm just a little higher on them this year. They really they lost Thielen, and they lost Cook, and the thing is they bolstered up the O-line a little bit, and I think the defense is going to be a little better than last year.
You think so?
They struggled with the pass a lot last year. They were one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, but I mean, looking at the roster, it's they do have some solid pieces on the defensive end, and they ended up being an average team, and they were really good at winning close games. So when you put that together, it's okay, I could see Minnesota being a tough win for anybody. And I'm not saying they're winning the NFC North because I already picked the Lions to win the NFC North. Yep. Too much of a homer pick, but I don't care. I don't care. This is the year.
That's a national pick.
And I mean, just looking at it, I do think this is a playoff team. I think they're a solid team, and I think they're going to run away from Tampa Bay. I just don't think Tampa Bay is very good. Baker Mayfield, I don't trust that.
Right.
And what you got Godwin and Evans, but with Baker in the backfield, they just don't have much.
It's a shallow pool.
Yes.
Not much for swimming.
Yeah. So I would say Minnesota big, but I think could be a weird game.
Right.
Yeah.
Something strange going to happen.
Exactly. So that moves us into Tennessee and New Orleans. This one's kind of interesting. I'm thinking Tennessee's out to take a statement.
Do you think so?
Tennessee has been overlooked a lot, and I think that they're actually going to have a solid game, be able to win this one. I think Derrick Henry controls the running attack, and the Saints still trying to figure out what their identity will be. So I got Tennessee in this one.
To me, it was a close one to me. I lean towards New Orleans because I see them as maybe that's not saying much, but I see them as winning the South for the NFC, and I think that opening up with Derek Carr and some of the new additions that they have. I mean, Jamal Williams, I'm not expected to play a huge role in it, but I like him on that team.
Yep.
And I think Derek Carr's going to have his breakout game. He's going to have a hello, I'm here and I've been here kind of game. Maybe it won't be like a Hall of Fame performance, but I think it would be enough. I see Tennessee as a very average, they're close to average team, consistent throughout their roster, but you gotta factor in the home field advantage.
Yeah.
The Superdome's got plenty of that, so I'm gonna take New Orleans in that.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it's a very interesting matchup. I think these teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, it might be an ugly game.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be an ugly game, and that's why I kind of lean towards Tennessee. They like to win those ugly games, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Moving on. This one might be the most interesting game on the 1 o'clock slate, and that's San Francisco and Pittsburgh.
I had a tough time with this
one,
too.
This one's really tough. And, like, San Francisco, I've heard a lot about Sam Darnold, like, and how much they love him. And with Brock Purdy, he didn't have the best preseason. He didn't. And we talked about it last year with the injury and stuff. Yeah. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I mean, that's a tough one to come back. Exactly.
That's a pretty important part of the arm.
Exactly. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, I got questions with the 49ers and I have no questions with Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh this year. I'm very high on the Steelers. Last year, going into the end of the year, the Steelers had the same record as the Lions. End of the year. Yep. And Kenny Pickett was the other than Jared Goff, had one of the best QB ratings near the end of the year. He was unbelievable, and people just don't talk about it. Like, and they got 2 running backs now, not just Najee Harris. Jaylen Warren is almost better than Najee Harris, and people think he should have more carries. George Pickens, I think, is going to take a big leap this year, along with Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, he's going to score touchdowns this year. There's no way he finishes with 1 touchdown or whatever he had last year. Fantasy owners, get Deontay Johnson. He'll be better. And then looking at that defense is so good. So good. They were a top 5 defense last year, and you're bringing back pretty much everybody. I really love the Steelers this year. I think they're going to win this game. And I think it's going to be close, but I can see them winning this game.
Yeah, this is a game of defense versus a defense. For the Steelers offense, I didn't realize that they finished the season the same way as the Lions did. But for Kenny Pickett, that was his rookie season. He needs to make that big upgrade. But against one of the best defenses in the league, I could see that growth and having that step up being delayed about a week.
Okay.
Just because of that defense being such a challenge. And with San Francisco's quarterback situation, they have the luxury of it not being as much of a hindrance as it would be for other teams. So I'm picking San Francisco to win on the road.
Okay.
Also because I need to mix in a few road wins into these picks. So a little bit playing the numbers here, but I'm going to see San Francisco winning on the road. Okay.
That's going to be an interesting one. I think that's my favorite game on the 1 o'clock. That's going to be a really fun one. All right, we got 2 more 1 o'clocks, then we're going to take a little break. But Arizona, Washington, kind of a disgusting game. It really is. So we can make a quick pick here. I think I'm just going to go with Washington because they're home.
They got a much better roster.
Exactly. They got a better defense. I don't trust Sam Howell. I don't think it's going to be that good this year.
No.
Yeah, but I got Washington. I think their defense will actually be average this year, but I don't see them going anywhere or doing anything.
They had a really good defensive line last year.
Yep.
They had a lot of guys. I remember watching the NFL Top 100. Like, they had a few fellas on defense, like specifically on the front, that made the Top 100. So that alone, I mean, you have any like good unit that's more than what the Cardinals have. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think so. The Cardinals got Joshua Dobbs like 2 weeks ago, and I think he's going to be the starter for this game. So like that will not be good for the Cardinals.
Hey, do you have that fire lit? But if you don't, better light it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the Commanders win big, and that's it's just a disgusting game. I'm not going to be watching it.
Nope.
It. But last 1 o'clock game, we got Houston at Baltimore, and this one could be lopsided also. I think Lamar's home debut, he's back, and he's back from last year wherever he went. Lamar, I'm not a Lamar guy. I'm not. On my top 10 quarterbacks, I didn't put him on my top 10 quarterbacks.
Really?
Top 10? Yeah. And that's just because I was more mad at the fact that he sat out half the season and people still think he's like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I'm not there. He's not that good to me.
Hey, but 6,000 yards passing. Okay, you're not buying into that?
He's not there. He's not that good. And I mean, looking at Baltimore, I'm not that high on them this year either because they don't have much in the receiving. You got Odell, and Odell hasn't been good in years. You got Zay Flowers, who's decent, but you're putting a lot of pressure on a rookie. And we always hear about a rookie receiver in Baltimore who we think is going to be sweet. We heard about Bateman last year. We hear about these guys every single year, and they're not good. It's just the truth. And so I'm not that high on Baltimore. They lost a little bit on defense. It's really only Marley and Humphrey on that end. So I'm not high on them for the season. But I do think this is going to be a week where everybody just overreacts to Baltimore and how they torch rookie C.J. Stroud quarterback, and their defense looks unbelievable doing it because Houston's offense isn't that good. But I could see, I like Houston's defense this year. I think they're going to be improved, but not till later because they're young. But with Baltimore, I just don't see the hype that people talk about. I really don't.
It's when you mix it into the AFC North with the Ravens, you could definitely they definitely hold up in that division. And I've seen them winning the division. I've seen them being third place. So a lot of all over the place. But for this game in particular, I see it as being one-sided. As being lopsided towards the Ravens. It's at home, and you got Lamar paid. So maybe he'll have a little bit of a better attitude with it. He's got high expectations for himself, and the nation has high expectations for them as well. Over the rookie quarterback, over the super young team. I mean, it's just Baltimore's a better team. Yeah,
100%. All right, so we're going to take a little break, and then we'll go through the 4 o'clock games, the Sunday night game, and the Monday night game. So we'll be back in a sec.
Hello. This is Giovanni Moceri. You might have heard me a couple times on Jake's Takes. I am the sports media director of Oakland University's campus radio station, WXOU, and I've been the host for about 2 years of a weekly sports show called The Jomo Show, where we cover all of Oakland University athletics, including a weekly update on scores and highlights, as well as interviews with athletes or those otherwise involved in athletics. You can listen to The Jomo Show live on WXOU Thursdays at 6, or you can tune in to me afterwards on Spotify. It's The Jomo Show.
All right, welcome back into the show, and we are now moving on to the 4 o'clock games, okay? So there's some decent ones in the 4 o'clock slate, but we're going to start with an NFC North matchup, and that is Green Bay and Chicago.
I'm very excited for this game.
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be interesting, and I mean, tell me your thoughts. What do you think?
So to set the stage for this game, you have two very bitter rivals within division. You got two quarterbacks that have a lot to prove in this coming season. Justin Fields has had more on-field time than Jordan Love, but they both have to prove to everybody who's going to be better, who's in the division. And I'm going to have to take Green Bay on the road in this one.
Okay.
I think the Bears have their dreams crushed and have their offseason hype ruined by Jordan Love being actually decent. I think that Jordan Love, his play style and I guess the team around him is a lot more consistent. So I'm expecting a lot more consistency, especially in the passing game from Jordan Love. And I think that's going to be enough to overtake the Bears where they kind of go up and down. Justin Fields will run for 60 yards, then a pick, and then an incomplete pass. So I'm going to take the consistency with that one. And either way, one of the NFC North rivals, as a Lions fan, one of their dreams is going to be crushed this week, and I guess we'll keep the status quo with Green Bay killing the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game, it's like I'm not high on Chicago this year at all.
I'm a little bit scared. I'm not high, but I'm scared.
Well, looking at them last year, Justin Fields threw the ball 18 times per game. 18. That's horrible. Yeah. They just don't throw the ball. They were down every single game, and they threw the ball 18 times a game. That's awful. So, yes, you bring in a guy like DJ Moore. But what, are you going to throw more? You're probably not going to throw more. Do you trust him that much?
You tell me you didn't see the 3 for 3 60 yards in that preseason game? He had the perfect QBR rating.
Yeah, but he only threw the ball 3 times.
All of them were behind the scrimmage.
So, I mean, I just don't trust the Bears. I don't think they got that much better. And I think they're clearly the worst team in the NFC North. I think Green Bay is actually solid. I think Jordan Love's going to have a solid year. And if they play him just like a game manager, I think they'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine.
And he's got a lot of running back help as well from Jones and Dillon. So that could definitely be a help for them as opposed to with Fields where he is the running back. They traded away their star running back Montgomery to the Lions. They got Deontay Foreman and Khalil Herbert.
Yeah,
fine gentlemen.
It's not going to be great, and I also think Green Bay's defense is actually pretty solid. Going to be one of the better defenses in the NFC. So we'll see for sure. But I think Green Bay's got this one handled.
I agree.
Moving on, now we got Vegas at Denver, and this one's kind of interesting. I think the bottom tier in the AFC West.
Yeah.
So looking at this, I think I'd have Denver just because Sean Payton's first game, and I think he's going to have this team really prepared. I think Wilson's not going to look crazy good, but I think he's going to look solid, and that's all you need. A guy I really like that they got is Samaje Perine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was really good last year for the Bengals during the playoffs. Unbelievable.
Joe Mixon was a little bit banged up.
Exactly.
They threw him through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be really good in this game. He'll have a big impact. But I also think this Broncos defense is going to look really good and shut down Jimmy G and Devontae Adams in that offense. I think really you only have Jimmy G and Devontae on the offensive end. And the defense, you lost a decent amount. I could see them getting some – I could see this being a really low-scoring game. I just can.
Yeah, the Raiders, they do have Josh Jacobs back. I believe did he just sign a 1-year deal?
Signed a 1 year. Yeah, all the running backs signed like a 1 year with a pay raise a little bit. I think he's at like $9 million, something like that for that year.
Yeah, so for this game, I agree. Like basically what you said, I agree with Sean with taking Denver at home. Sean Payton's gonna boost this team up a little bit. Russ maybe not looking super good, but anything is better than last year.
Yep.
And I see Denver as you can kind of see a theme with my picks. The roster is a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
Whereas you have Las Vegas, they have Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams, and Josh Jacobs, and Max Crosby, and then everyone else.
Yep.
So I'll always go for a consistent team as opposed to a top-heavy team.
Yep.
You can get away with top-heavy in the NBA, not in the NFL.
No, yeah, that is very true. All right, let's move on. This is probably these next two games are really interesting, very interesting. And the first one we're going to talk about is Eagles at Patriots. And this one is very interesting. I know the line is 3.5 towards the Eagles. I know that off the top of my head. But I think this could be a very interesting game because the Patriots, a lot of it is they weren't great last year. They weren't. And they had a defensive coach running their offense.
They had a circus over there.
Yeah, so now you actually bring in an offensive coordinator. Mac Jones has looked a lot better in the preseason. Apparently Juju's been dealing with some injuries. I don't think he's going to play in this game.
Yeah.
And so you got some weapons on the outside, and that should make it kind of interesting for the Patriots to actually have a solid offense. And their defense was still one of the best defenses in football last year.
It's gonna be up there every year.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is just a tough game for the Eagles to go to New England, but I am gonna stick with the Eagles just because I think the Eagles are clearly the best team in the NFC. And are really gonna show up for this one.
I'm going to agree. I'm going with the Eagles as well, but I'm going to see it as a lot more of a throwdown. I'm going to see it.
Okay.
I'm higher on the Eagles in this game, and I think that their defenses are about even. Maybe you could give the edge to the Patriots a little bit. But I would say the defenses are about the same, but you got the offensive matchup way favoring the Eagles.
Yep.
So just doing a little bit of math here, I'm going to take the Eagles.
The only thing that makes me think it's going to be a little close is they're honoring Brady at the game. Brady's going to be there. So
what better way
yeah.
to ruin that day?
So I think like New England's going to be playing for something and Mac Jones is going to be playing for something because Mac Jones sucks. We might be hearing like people like, Brady, put on the uniform. Come on. Let's get back into it. So I think that's what New England's going to play it close, but I can see Philly sneaking out. I think it's just going to be a tough environment, which is why I have it being a close game. All right, so let's move into Miami and the Chargers. And this one's interesting because we don't know what we're going to see from Tua.
Right, and this game, I did my entire picks, and I had to skip this one and come back to it because I really couldn't tell which one, who was going to show up. Tua, we'll say right now, I'm going to take Miami in this one on the road. I need a road win, but I think you have Tua now healthy. At least for this week, he's going to be healthy. And I think that if any road team was going to win, going through it, have a few road wins, I think Miami can do it. Los Angeles doesn't have much of a home field advantage with the Chargers, so I that is a neutral element in the game.
Pretty much, yeah.
You got everyone healthy at least for week 1. I think Miami's got a much more solid defense than is nationally seen. Everyone sees like the high flying offense with Tyreek and Waddle and the track team that they have.
Pretty much, yeah.
But the defense has got some solid pieces on it as well. So for that to sort of go on the road, like the going on the road thing is really more of a time zone thing than it is a hostile environment. I'm still going to take Miami in this one.
Yeah. I'm going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to pick the Chargers. I'm higher on the Chargers this year, more for the fact that Herbert just got his first taste of playoff football, and they blew that lead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't blame Herbert on this podcast. I never really was like a crazy Herbert guy, but I'm starting to become more and more of a Herbert guy. And I think he's going to take another step up this year, which is unbelievable to say because he was already a top 5 quarterback.
Right.
So taking another step up is going to be ridiculous. He could be near the MVP talks for me. I picked Jalen Hurts to win my MVP, but I think Herbert's going to be right around there. I think the Chargers are going to take a big step up. You got a guy like Quinn Johnston in the draft who just adds to your receiving depth, which is really nice. And I think this is finally the year where the defense is going to figure it out. They just got to get healthy. And Brandon Staley's still the coach here, but they also brought in Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. So now Staley doesn't have to focus on the offense that much. He can now just focus back to his roots on the defense. And Kellen Moore can now run the offense, and there's going to be a lot more openings and stuff like that. You also got Eckler, who's unbelievable.
Yeah, Eckler's a dude.
Yeah. So I think with this Chargers team, they're coming at home against the Dolphins. I get it. It's like a neutral site because they don't really have a home. People don't care about the Chargers. But I think they're just going to come out playing so hard. And I think they're going to be able to – I can see this being a close game, but I think they're going to be able to win this by 10 points. I think 10's where I got it.
Wow. All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So
agree to disagree.
All right. Fair enough. Let's move into – this is the last 425 game, and this is Rams at Seattle. I think we can make this quick. I think Seattle's going to kill them. I really do.
It might be a little bit closer.
Oh, you think it's going to be closer? Okay.
I think so. Cup's still injured, so it may not that close, but I'm not seeing like a annihilation.
Okay.
A beatdown, not an annihilation. So we'll split hairs with the synonyms, but
yeah, I think Seattle's really going to come out with something to prove because the Rams and Seattle, they go back and forth in the NFC West. And I feel like the past couple of years, the Rams have had kind of their number. And I really think Seattle's going to come prepared, ready to win this game, not mess around at all because this is a division game. It's a home game, and you got to win your home division games. And I think Seattle's really playing for that playoff spot, and they're going to have a monster game. I could see Kenneth Walker running all over this defense. This defense is really only Aaron Donald. That's it. They lost a lot there. And then with the offense, looking at it, Stafford has no line. He just doesn't. And Stafford's already been dealing with so many injuries. I just don't think Stafford can do it anymore. I just don't. He's taken so much beat down in Detroit, and now he's going to take it in LA. Like I just don't see it for LA this year. I could see them starting like 1-6 and then selling everybody and trying to go get Caleb Williams. I really think that's what it's going to be for the Rams. So I think Seattle's going to torch them. I do.
Rams are going to have to pay the piper a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm curious or maybe I'm sure it'll be on the broadcast coverage, but Bobby Wagner, leaving Seattle for the Rams and now undoing
going
that.
back.
So I'm curious if that's going to be an element or a storyline in this game. But
I'm sure it will.
Wagner's definitely going to add to defense.
I could see them talking about that like all night.
All
night.
Well, playing against your former team.
Yep.
Well.
All right, so Sunday night, and this one's a fun one. NFC East one, Dallas at the Giants. And this is a big game for the Giants. Huge game. What do you see here?
I don't believe in the Giants, man.
Oh, okay.
I think they're going to be one of the few teams that don't return to the playoffs from last year. And, Dallas is Dallas. I'm starting to lean away from the typical, like, Dallas is going to Dallas, that kind of stuff. I'm kind of leaning away from that just because the team is so rawly talented, and it's the defense being so good that is the difference. You can have a great offense, but there's been many times where you even saw the Lions in the first about 7 games. The offense can be great, but if your defense stinks, you stink.
Yeah.
Not so much with the Cowboys. They have a great offense and a great defense. And with the Giants, they added Darren Waller, but I don't see them being able to repeat what they did last year. Saquon coming back, he's paid for now. I get that. Daniel Jones is not somebody I'm confident in, and I fight with my family a lot on that. But I think this is going to be a Cowboys win on the road, and I think it's going to be convincing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game too. I think the Giants are going to keep it close because this is a big game, and they got something to play for. They're always going to wake up to play the Cowboys. It's just the truth. It's a great rivalry. And, I mean, looking at these two teams, it's like the Giants proved a lot last year, and the Cowboys, even though they did have a playoff win last year, they got a lot to prove still because I think they're bringing back the best defense in football. I love this defense. Micah Parsons is unbelievable. And I think Dak has the most to prove out of any quarterback in the NFL. And I think he's going to show it in this first game. I think he's going to be unbelievable. Him and CeeDee Lamb, I think that connection is going to be ridiculous this year. I like the Cowboys a lot. I could see them really competing with the Eagles for that NFC East.
I think so too. And they did last year.
Yeah, I mean they're a great regular season team, and they're going to be another great regular season team again. It's for them. It's about taking that next step. So people should. They're just going to overlook their 11-win regular season probably, or 12-win regular season, and you should because they gotta take that next step. And this is the year where I think they're going to get close. So I think they're going to show up for this Giants game, and, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they're going to have to get to the NFC Championship game before people will really take them seriously, at least in the postseason. But, for our purposes, this is regular season.
Exactly.
The great regular season team.
That's true. All right, last game, Monday Night Football, big AFC East. Yep, I got that right. Showdown, and that's Buffalo at the Jets, and this one is exciting. Who do you got?
The Jets. I think.
Okay.
I'm buying into Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets. I'm buying into the Hard Knock stuff. Although I haven't watched it, I've been hearing.
Yep.
I hear a little bit here and there. But again, when you get a defense like you got with the Jets, they have shown the ability to give the Bills a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the Bills, they have James Cook at running back now, they got a little bit more focus on him. I've never seen the Bills with Josh Allen use a running back efficiently.
It's true.
So I don't see that as a factor for them. And you see Sauce Gardner, with his 8-foot arms swatting passes. I don't see the Jets going all the way to the Super Bowl because of Aaron Rodgers, but definitely playoff team, definitely massively improved from last year. And I think with the home field advantage and the defense of the Jets, I think they're going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge game. Flat out huge game. These are going to be, in my opinion, the two teams on the top of the AFC East. I actually have the Jets winning the division. I'm all in on the Jets this year. I picked the Jets to win my Super Bowl. I have them that far.
Wow.
Yeah, they are my Super Bowl pick. And it's this defense. This defense is unbelievable. This defense gives me old Seattle Seahawks vibes with Richard Sherman, all those guys. This unbelievable defense. Quinn Williams is one of the most dominant defensive linemen I've seen in a long time.
When you get a good defensive lineman like that, when you get your Ndamukong Suh, when you get your Quinn, when you get that guy, that wrecks everything. It's all you can have a great edge rusher, but there's ways to go around it. That guy's in the middle.
Yep.
He will be in either direction.
Yeah. And I mean, adding to that, it's Sauce Gardner is the best corner in football already. He is. He's just so good. And you look at just all the pieces around that defense, they're so talented there. And now you add in a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Your only question, and I get it, it's a question because we haven't seen it yet, is the O-line. But Aaron Rodgers also can figure that out. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks in football.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. And I get it. He's 40 years old. He didn't look that good last year. But who was he throwing to last year? Christian Watson, a rookie Christian Watson?
Yeah.
I mean, he might have made that guy to who he is. We don't know. If he's great this year, good for him. But we don't know if he's actually a good receiver. And then there's Romeo Doubs, who's now the third receiver behind a rookie, Jaden Reed. So who is he throwing to, you know? Yeah, now he's got a real guy in Garrett Wilson. And from what we've been seeing, this guy looks unbelievable. So, and you got a lot of backs here, Delvin Cook and Breece Hall. Some people were saying that Rodgers really wanted Delvin Cook because he played against him so many times in Minnesota. And also he knows that Delvin Cook will block. There's a lot of questions with younger running backs about their blocking.
Yeah.
So Rodgers wanted to bring him in for blocking. And that's huge for this team because I think blocking is the only question mark. It is. But I think they're going to come in here and really play well, do great in this game, and win this game. I think Buffalo's really going to keep it close because they got something to play for. Last year, they got embarrassed at home against Cincinnati. They did. It was embarrassing. I think Josh Allen's going to play really well in this game against a very tough defense. I think it's going to be a one-score game. I could see it being a tie game and Rodgers leading a game-winning drive here.
And I got the total score under 40 because I'm in a Pick'ems league and I had to pick. It's a tiebreaker.
All right,
So,
all right.
I think a little scoring game within a score for sure.
Yeah. Well, Giovanni, thank you so much for joining the show. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much for having me. I always love coming on Jake's Takes.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to be doing this. I'm doing a lot of football coverage this year just because I didn't have the podcast around last year. So we're doing a lot of football coverage on the show. So hopefully you'll be joining again soon. I'm excited for this. Yeah, I'm excited for this a lot. Well, that's going to wrap up Jake's Takes for today, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.